the harder these guys are going to fight. Let's make things happen here in the LFC. This, as I said, a featherweight professional K1 Bout. Your referee in charge, Mr. Andrew Spandex Nichols. And now for Kirk's opponent, fighting out of the blue corner and try style martial arts, it's Beardmore. One more time, let's hear it for these two guys. It's Pro K1 with MMA gloves. Round one.
Well, Dean, if it doesn't get any more exciting than this, it's Pro K1. This one featuring out of the red corner, Kirk Jackson from Team Vengeance, taking on Lee Beardmore from Tri-Style Martial Arts in the blue corner, and 4-ounce MMA gloves in a small cage, Pro K1. What else do I have to say?
Oh my goodness, when I heard this was going to happen with small gloves, I was ecstatic. You're going to see a lot more knockouts, Chris, when these smaller gloves touch the face of these fighters.
And particularly with the K1 rule set, Kirk Jackson known for being just a high output, high octane, gutsy guy. Beardmore also equally very, very skilled, Dean.
Nice kick there by Beardmore. I like the way he's keeping his distance. He's bouncing in and out of the danger zone and only firing off when he needs to. Nice double jab there.
Smart moves against a guy who's got the striking pedigree of Jackson. Starting in Kempo, moving to Chinese, Sanda. Also in Muay Thai. He has been out a little bit over the past couple of years, but I don't think we're going to see any ring rust tonight, Dean. He's a lifelong martial artist, case in point.
Both fighters here looking very sharp. Jackson seems more cerebral. He's waiting for his opportunity here, whereas Beardmore's a bit more bouncy, more comfortable to go in and out.
And Lee Beardmore looking to establish what looks to be the jab, but eats a nice right leg kick. Checked in the reply by Jackson. And tying things up is Lee Beardmore. We're going to get a separation. And the tie-up also happens a little bit more uniquely without those larger boxing gloves, Dean.
Yeah, I was just about to comment on the weight, actually, of the boxing gloves, and that translates to the clinch. With the weight, if you've got a 16-ounce glove, you spar in the 16-ounce glove, then you fire off in a little 6-ounce glove, you are going to punch much faster. Also, like you said with the clinch, Chris, there's less glove, which means more space for you to maneuver around.
And Jackson exchanging in the pocket. Beardmore connecting once, now twice. Right round kick thuds home on Jackson as well from Beardmore. And Jackson looking to stay, as you said, patient. I think he realizes immediately the reach disadvantage he's at.
Yep, there's some nice head movement there from side to side. He needs to, however, roll in to alleviate some of the pressure from his opponent who has the reach advantage here.
Very impressive start, very calculated start. Both fighters fast chambering, fast returns. Showing good defense and offense. Going 360 is Jackson in a slip. And Beardmore, again, as I said, very tactile. He didn't run in. He realized that Jackson was going to be able to get back up. Going into the danger zone is always risky with these 4-ounce gloves, Dean.
Oh, nice leg kick there by Jackson.
And a tie-up. Great awareness of the rule set from these two. Not long to go, though. Oh.
Lean in punch there by Beardmore, just left his chin out a bit too much.
And Jackson goes crashing to the mat. You know, Jackson looks so physically very good. If you look at him at the weigh-ins, he cuts so much weight. So impressed with the energy output pace. And as we said, Dean, I just have to note, it's the calculation. Neither fighter distracted, neither fighter terribly out of position. On target quite a bit. Everything you look for in Pro K1 rules.
Established themselves as excellent fighters here in the NFC so far. The type of guys that could take a fight at weeks' notice and still come in and perform at some of their best.
That's what it's all about here in the LFC.
Well, we continue here in this K1 rules bout. Thrilling, breathtaking pace from Jackson and Beardmore. Dean, great stuff in the LFC all night here in Kent.
Nice leg kicks there. I'm really impressed with Beardmore's kicks on the outside. However, Jackson's finding his own here. He's sinking some down. You can see the welt there on Beardmore's left leg.
I like the guard and defense of these two. In addition, both
Nice
cracking
stuff.
each other at several points, as you said, Dean, but I think it's a jab that's going to become the most key element.
Beardmore's got a really nice jab. He snaps out of the end, Chris, which really does the damage there. With his exceptional reach there over Jackson, Jackson needs to find a way in. Couple his slips with head movement there. He can't afford to stand in front of Beardmore like this.
And as time continues to run where everything else might be equal, Dean, that jab could become the most important tool.
With regards to damage, engaging the distance, yes, almost certainly. Beardmore needs to stick some more powerful punches on this, perhaps try and get his right hand down the pipe or even some head kicks there. Nice leaning hook there from Beardmore. I really like how he's gauging his distance in this fight thus far.
But I think he's got to be wary of the traps that a guy like Jackson's going to set. Nice right round kick, and it's the ones that you sort of hear thud and not slap that are the most meaty in connection. Isn't that right, Dean?
They're the ones that resonate through your muscle often, yes. Do the damage internally and bruise and hemorrhage the muscles. Oh, some nice hooks there. Good movement by Jackson.
And yeah, great movement by Jackson, but excellent preparation by Beardmore to enter there. I mean, he backed him up. He knew he was in the position to be able to land a couple of 2- and 3-punch combinations, but he didn't overextend. He's not rushing it. And you can see the welting on his lead leg, Dean. I think that might have cut down the mobility, but he's continuing to adapt his game plan to remain wise to the scenarios of which he physically must acknowledge, I guess.
It's very true. Beardmore's circling off a lot more. Like you said, he's lost maybe perhaps a bit of snap off that jab, so he's consciously thought in his mind, I need to evade by some lateral movement, which goes from left to right.
And I think Jackson trying to set up that right hand over the top. Lee Beardmore still keeping the left hand planted to the chin, but it's the right round kick that lands again for Jackson, and Beardmore limps. Left hook lands. Jackson smells blood.
Beardmore quite correctly circling out, gaining some time after that big shot. Needs to get himself out of this cage, like we said before, in this K1 rules instead of the cage. If you can back your opponent up against the cage, he has nowhere to go.
Man, and that right round kick is for sure the most effective strike. 2, now 3 times flush to the weighted leg of Lee Beardmore, and that's what makes it the most painful, Dean.
Beardmore's now wincing every time he gets hit with that kick.
And as red as a tomato is the lead leg of Lee Beardmore. And the inside leg showing a little bit of damage as well on the rear.
Nice.
And Jackson tags him again. Beardmore's getting a little bit busted up. We saw Beardmore controlling the early parts of this round, but Jackson landing some of the most significant strikes.
Jackson's doing really well coupling his punches and kicks together, stringing them together, which limits Beardmore's ability to think what's coming next and evade.
So it's been a case where you've seen the aggression and the control of Lee Beardmore early, perhaps even over the halfway point of that round. But we looked at Kirk Jackson connecting with those flush leg kicks, possibly the most significant and effective shots of the fight in that striking repartee, Dean.
Fast chambering kicks there from Jackson. Excellent stuff. No burn lines in between these guys, actually evolving in front of the cage.
And it's the final round here, 3 more minutes. Chris Hookster calling it with Dean Midhat, LFC in Kent. And Jackson right back to the right round kicks again, Dean.
Definitely, he's gauging the distance well. Staying on the outside, circling away there, moving his head brilliantly. Beardmore needs to switch his game plan up. He needs to go high and low, perhaps some body shots into Jackson to slow his movement as they clinch up here. Nice knee by Jackson.
I like how Beardmore actually waited till Jackson threw the right leg out and then connected with his own leg kick to that extended leg. Beardmore backed out and then countered. But Jackson now looking, I believe, to set up that round kick off the jab. Beardmore doing certainly better at attacking the legs of Jackson as well. Bit of his own medicine.
Can't help but think the spring out of the step of Beardmore is due to these leg kicks, which is a brilliant tactic on Jackson's part. Seems to be paying dividends in this later rounds. Nice head movement there by Jackson. Needs to come back with a left hook or right hand off that.
And trying to penetrate again off that jab is Lee Beardmore, which seemed to be the most effective weapon from round one, certainly in round two, continually jarring Jackson.
Outstanding barrage of kicks by Jackson to the leg of Lee Beardmore is really reddening up now.
It's a great fight, Dino. And at one I would really struggle to call. Jackson goes for that high point head kick. Just not quite enough torque on that. Certainly got over the guard of Beardmore though.
Needs to be careful doing that because Beardmore, remember, has got the reach, and if Jackson comes up short, Beardmore has been known to fire off shots there toe to toe at his reach.
And Beardmore grins, bites down his mouthpiece, racing towards the finish line in this bout. But it's been a constant barrage from both fighters, neither refusing to back down, Dean.
Making a definitive statement here in the LFC, these two K1 strikers. Jackson on the outside, just eating a little jab. They needs to work the parry. Just parry that punch of Beardmore off down the center line, then come in, perhaps with some rolls underneath, and then chop down with that big leg kick he's been using.
And the left,
bam, there we go.
Oh man, that one was one of the best he's landed. And again, he waited until Beardmore actually placed the weight down into his leg. He actually timed him a couple of steps ahead. He waited until Beardmore moved into the pocket, and then boom, there was the shot.
Really good tactics by Jackson. What he's doing is throwing some shots up top. And when Beardmore, he counters by covering up, and to cover up you have to put your weight down, which enables Jackson to blast that leg again. Beardmore opting out of the, oi! Nice right hand there by Jackson.
And a slapping leg kick again for the Team Vengeance fighter. Man, this has been a real great fight.
An all-out war, swinging for the fences. These fighters are really going for it here. Oh, and nice looping hook there from Beardmore.
Neither unsettled. Both fighters embrace. Both had such a vested interest in this fight. These guys have trained for a long time. And both in peak form, Dean. I think it really paid off for an entertaining matchup for the audience here.
Jackson dipped down into his tactic bag and came up trumps with that leg kick, coupled with some good strikes. Even tried a head kick once, Chris. Excellent fight. I've got the scorecards down as 2 to Jackson, 1 to Lee Beardmore, but ultimately it's to the judges that are in this vicinity tonight.
And I think that one could really score the flurries from Beardmore. He really showcased some poise on the end of that jab, setting up combinations, Dean, but will it be enough to counter the effective and maybe more significant shots of Jackson with those leg kicks? You can see the visible damage there and the swelling on his leg if you take a look.
Yeah, in his corner, already applying ice to the leg of Beardmore as we get ready for the judge's decision. Excellent display of K1 action with these small gloves, just makes it exceptionally exciting here in the LFC.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it. That may have been the fight of the night. Well, after 3 insane rounds of K1 rules action here at Featherweight, your judges at ringside have reached a split decision. Judge number 1 at ringside sees about 29-28 in favor of the red corner, Jackson. And judge number 2 at ringside sees about in favor of the blue corner, 29-28 for Beardmore. And your final judge here this evening at LFC sees about 29-28 in favor of your winner, fighting out of the blue corner, Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Kirk Jackson. You take a look at these legs and you will see red as a tomato. It takes 2 to tango, and that was outstanding.